What we do here is go back.
Hello there, everybody. How the devil are we all? I'm very well. I thank you for asking. Let me just turn that up a bit. There we go. How are we all? Are we well? Apologies that I'm slightly late. I was taking a big poop. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. I'm not going to pretend I was doing something far more, I don't know, weird or interesting. I was doing a shit. It had to happen, okay? Nature calls, not always at a very convenient moment. And when it's a number 2, you don't get to not answer the call. You can't put that call off. That's just after, you know. Was that you during the collapse of the Soviet Union? No, that was me in. I took a holiday to Afghanistan during the 1980s and stayed there for a bit doing, you know, stuff. And then in 2001 did a thing. I'm not going to go into it. Just in 2001 coordinated with my friends to do, you know, to really bring the house down, you know, twice. And yeah, and then I went swimming forever. My volume is a little bit soft, much like my penis. How's about that? Is that a bit better? I brought the microphone closer to my face. So Osama bin Laden. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the joke, is that's a picture of bin Laden that someone put my body over. Yes, that is the joke. Fucking hell. Anyway, hello there, everybody. If you enjoy my content, and I don't know why you wouldn't be enjoying my content, it's fucking banger. You can hit the follow button. You can subscribe. You can subscribe with Amazon Prime. You can gift subs to the community. You can do bits messages. 200 bits or more will get you a text to speech. You can do super chats via the Streamlabs link below. You can help me out on Patreon and or PayPal. You can tell I've just had a shit because I'm getting through this really nice and quickly. My brain works because I've just done a poo.
Stop it. Get some help.
Fucking timing, Mike. High five. Anyway, yes, you can help me on Patreon and or PayPal. You cannot go over to Twitter because not Jeff Bezos, another billionaire cunt who doesn't deserve to be where they are. Elon Musk murdered my opinion. You can do, but you can go over to the Discord, to the Facebook, the YouTube, the Blue Sky, and the TikToks. If you're on YouTube, hello there, YouTube. You can hit the follow button. No, you can subscribe, which is free. You can smash the shit out of the like button. You can Hiroshima the like button. You can also become a member for as little as 99 pence, or indeed gift memberships to the community, and you can do super chatterinos. Hello there, Big Zebra. Thank you for resubscribing. Thank you, Swirly Curly, for resubscribing, and thank you, Scouse Raw, for resubscribing. And this is democracy. Manifest. Anyway, I think we do some Brit Bongarino stuff up top, whilst they're still vaguely awake, and then come midnight or something, we'll get around to, you know, some more American-y type shite. So, everybody, you are aware that there's a general election taking place. We watched a thing yesterday, didn't we? Involving many of the leading figures of the 7 main parties. And one of the things that cropped up during that time was Rishi Sunak leaving the D-Day celebrations, or I suppose commemorations rather than celebrations. Do you celebrate the death of that many people? I'm not sure. The commemorations, the sombre occasion where everyone, including the Germans, even though they were on the losing side, not sure why they're fucking there. We're not commemorating your dead, dickheads. Anyway, all of the world leaders get together along with, you know, veterans and current serving personnel and all the rest of it, and, you know, celebrate one of the rare moments of international cooperation to defeat fascism. Lovely work. Rishi Sunak decided to leave early and fuck off back to the UK to get interviewed for the TV. A genuine smear of shit across the face of Britain. Thank you, Rishi, you fucking wanker. You made us look so bad on the world stage, it's embarrassing. It's so fucking embarrassing. You should be ashamed of yourself and no country would ever vote for you. But it turns out that story got fucking worse. That story, you're thinking to yourself, how can it get worse? Did he punch a veteran in the fucking face? Did he turn up wearing a fucking Nazi uniform as a bit of a prank? Like, I'd at least expect. You know what? I'd be okay with that, just on the basis of shit posting. That would be one hell of a shit post. He knows he's going to lose anyway. Turn up in a Nazi uniform, it would be fucking banter. Jesus Christ, that would be funny, actually. Scratch that one then. Did he punch a veteran? He didn't. Because punching a veteran would involve him turning up. At least. And it turns out that we now have... Did he defect to France? Yeah, he's joined the French Foreign Legion. He's not coming back. Awesome. Actually, yeah, you know what? France, if you want him, you know what? We'll pay the airfare. We don't even... Look, it'd be cheaper than sending him to Rwanda or something, you know what I mean? France is only just over the way there, you know? Anyway, we now have conservative ministers, so literally government ministers appointed by Rishi Sunak, briefing against him, suggesting... Hang on, why the fuck is that? There we go, right. Suggesting that even the bit that he did turn up for, he didn't want to attend. He literally had to be bargained into turning up to the one event he did go to. He didn't want to turn up at all. He didn't want to go. He literally wanted to nope out to any part of the D-Day 80th anniversary get-together. Now, of course, number 10 are denying this, but either way, you either have number 10 being lying fuckheads, that's obviously the case, or ministers during a general election briefing that the Prime Minister didn't want to go to the D-Day celebrations. Either way, it's a fucking scandal. It's a massive scandal. I am going to put my neck out on the line here and take a stance on this. He definitely didn't want to turn up. There's no way some random minister would brief this if it weren't true. Okay? Literally, it's being reported. Here we go. Where is it? Claims from Tory ministers and sources that the French government was told a week ago Rishi Sunak would not attend the D-Day 80th commemorations. It's being denied categorically by Sunak's communications team. So, literally, the French government were told he ain't coming. They must be trying to lose. They actually must be. They must be trying to lose. If this is true, by the way, and I do hope there's an investigation into this and that, you know, whatever communications were had with the French government are released, he has to resign. If he actually tried to get out of doing this, he has to go. I know we're in the middle of a general election. I know he's about to lose and stop being Prime Minister. But he needs to stop being Prime Minister now. This is not acceptable. If this is true, he needs to resign immediately. He needs to be gone. That's not fucking acceptable. I'm not even a particularly patriotic person. You know me. I don't go in for the flag shagging fucking... salute the fucking, you know, troops and all that shit. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Well, I couldn't give a fuck about any of that. And yet, this is just fucking disrespectful to the entire country. This is so fucking disrespectful. It's ridiculous. Oh my god. And they must be trying to lose. And this, for me, this perfectly sums up how I know that Rishi Sunak is not an alien lizard in a human suit, pretending to be a human, so that he can gain power over the humans and enslave them. I know that for a fact, because if he were an alien lizard in a human suit, A, he'd choose a more appropriately sized human suit rather than the very miniature one. Not very convincing, that. And secondly, you would think that the alien lizards would know that they have to pretend to be like a human being. That they'd have to actually pretend to be like a human being in order to convince the humans that they're one of them. Whereas Rishi Sunak doesn't appear to be aware that he needs to act like a fucking human being. Do you know what I mean? So for me, this proves he's actually just a very, very, very incompetent and tiny human. Which is literally the best thing you can say about him. That's literally the most generous and diplomatic thing you can say about this absolute gobshite. What a fucking waste man. What a wanker of the highest order. Ironically, given that he's 2 feet tall. Like, ridiculous. I will keep you updated on this. I don't know if it can get worse than this. Other than him, I don't even know what he could do that would be worse than this. Wiping his arse with the flag whilst punching a D-Day veteran in the face and shagging the corpse of the Queen. I don't know what he can do to be worse than this. I don't know. But I'm sure he'll try. We've got another month of this, by the way. Another fucking month of it. You get used to me saying he's trying to lose. Because that can be the only explanation. It doesn't make sense, and yet it's the only explanation that makes any sense. Fucking mental. Absolutely mental. Offer free broadband. Yeah, true. Oh, he gives small people a bad name. Also true. Look, I'm not holding it against the short people. God bless them, okay? Just like I don't hold, terrorists against whichever group they come from, unlike the state of Israel, I don't do collective punishment, okay? I don't hold it against short people that Rishi Sunak is one of your ilk, okay? We've all got our bad uns. We've all got our wrong uns. Anyway. I genuinely am taken aback by how fucking shoddy he is. Jesus Christ. Right. Now, this seems like an appropriate lead-in to that particular thing. The video, Britain is a dump, and then lots of exclamation points. I haven't seen this, because I don't like to pre-watch, of course. But someone said this is like a normie take on it. So we'll see how much of this we can get through before it becomes fucking annoying, as I'm sure it will.
Have you noticed how empty everywhere is these days?
Yeah, it's shit. Yeah.
Britain is quickly becoming a nation of nothing.
Yeah.
A recent Cambridge University report.
When I've said in the past, when I've referred to Britain as a replacement bus service nation, I wasn't joking. I wasn't doing hyperbole. I wasn't doing it for like effect because I had to say something. No, we are that. We are a replacement bus service as a nation. That's all we are. We are broken, ineffective. It does not work. Sunak is a prick, Lewis Hopton. He is a prick. And you know how you can not be a prick? By hitting the follow button. Oh yes. I got game, bitches.
What finds the availability of parks, cinemas, train stations, public transport, GP practices, hospitals, mental health care, police stations, banks, cash machines, post offices, education facilities, theatres, swimming pools, museums, shopping centres, chemists, pubs and gyms have declined across almost all English areas since 2014. Under the Conservatives, funding for local government has been cut by over half since 2010.
Absolute cunts. Yeah. No, lefty conspirator, as a bus driver, you need not feel offended. Buses are a perfectly adequate, in fact good part of any kind of proper mix of public transportation. It's a beautiful thing, okay? You do God's work. What I'm suggesting is that if you get on a train, you should be able to go the entire journey on a train. Just like if you get on a bus, you should be able to go the entire journey on a bus. Britain, that is not the case. In Britain, nothing works. Including, unfortunately, far too many of the people. Because there are no fucking jobs.
With such stringy finances, councils have had to be very frugal with their limited budget, selling off billions worth of public assets just to make ends meet, and raising council tax higher and higher to pay for worse and worse services.
Yep.
And even then, many councils are going into debt just providing basic functions. This is part of a wider economic policy pursued by the Conservatives over the past 14 years, one that was intended to bring down government debt. Cuts to education to the tune of £10 billion.
And again, as always, it's a false economy. It's a massive false economy. If you take money out of these services, it creates more cost to the taxpayer later down the line. You don't actually feel those savings after even the first couple of years of those cuts. Is council tax a local regional tax? It is. It's based upon the value of your house, or indeed the rent that gets paid or whatever, and you have to pay, and it basically funds local services. So in Britain you have the national government where you pay taxes like the national insurance and VAT and all that sort of stuff goes to the national government. One of the taxes that's controlled by local councils, so that's city councils or county councils, and in some cases you've got unitary authorities and stuff. It gets a bit complicated, but basically a local government in your local area can raise those taxes based upon the value of the properties in those areas, and that funds local services like libraries and refuse collection and stuff like that. Yeah. Which is why, of course, because they've slashed the budgets for these, that's why libraries are closing, and why a lot of places are going from 1 week to 2 week refuse collection, which has seen the population of rats in many cities go through the roof, because people have just got refuse lying about now instead of being collected weekly. Which leads to increases in disease, which leads to hospitalisations and death, and lack of productivity and less tax revenue. Do you see what I mean about the false economy? It goes round and round. It's just, you don't save money by doing this. But the Tories don't care. The Tories just don't want rich people to pay tax, because they're the rich people who they don't want to pay tax.
Taking 14% from the most deprived schools. £5,000 less per pupil. Youth services down by a third. Environment down 20%. Housing down by a half, and infrastructure down 55%.
Just for the person in YouTube chat, no, unemployment is not at record lows. What they've done is change the way in which it's categorised. If we were using the same categorisation of unemployment as they did in the late 70s, before Thatcher got in and started fiddling with the numbers to try and make it seem like she wasn't a cunt, we'd be at much, much higher levels of unemployment, because actual unemployment, or indeed underemployment, is skyrocketing. You can tell that just from like food bank usage and stuff. People can't afford to live.
Road repairs down 40%. 600 million slashed from yearly cultural spending. That probably doesn't sound like much, but 10 years down the line, the last 5 UK Christmas #1s have been a series of novelty songs about sausage rolls. In this frenzy of...
I don't get the hate towards Lad Baby. I'll be honest with you. I think it's quite cute. I know they're kind of like clout chasey or whatever you want to call it, but like, they've raised a lot of money for charity, and as a family they've done a cool sort of thing, and that's okay. I'd rather have that than the fucking the same churned out overproduced bullshit X Factor winner. as we had for fucking years and years, until do you remember the fucking internet campaign to get Rage Against the Machine to be #1 at Christmas? Fucking lovely shit. Aren't they Tories? I have no idea about the politics of the people, to be honest with you. I don't really know them, but I don't get the hate to them personally. They seem nice enough people. I don't know about their politics, but whatever. I hope they're not Tories. That would be bad.
Balancing budgets, the Tories seemingly forgot that there were people on the other side of those spreadsheets, and soon society began to quite literally collapse in on itself. St Mary's Hospital in London has rotting floors, flooding, collapsing ceilings and sewage spilling out of the drains onto the outpatient ward. But St Mary's Hospital doesn't qualify for urgent investment to repair these issues, because there are at least 5 other hospitals in worse condition, and there isn't...
Jesus fucking Christ. By the way, I've been at Hitchingbrook. Got my head cut open on accident. I had to go there. Yeah.
enough money to repair them all. One hospital in Cambridge is so dilapidated that it is unsafe to treat overweight patients on the upper floors.
Actually, well, that's an amazing statistic. Also, I wasn't obese at the time I went there.
Because the structure could give way at any moment.
Jesus
there are schools
Christ.
that are only avoiding bankruptcy because every time the ceiling collapses, they get an apology payment from the company that was contracted to build the school.
Why aren't the people... Okay, why is that company still allowed to exist? Why haven't we taken that company from them and imprisoned the people who did this? There are people who run a company that have led to a dangerous school situation that could have killed children and has definitely fucked up the education of the children at this school. Why are they not in jail and we, as the taxpayer, taken that company on and either dissolved it because it doesn't work or nationalised it so that we then have a company with which to make actual adequate repairs? Neoliberalism, everybody.
Some areas were exempt from budget cuts, like benefit payments, for example. So the
Hello, Zachap. Everyone go and follow Zachap immediately.
goal became to get as many people off benefits as possible, and some of the ways they tried to do this are downright cruel. People on housing benefits who have a spare bedroom in their house could be forced to pay a penalty. This would encourage them to move to a smaller house, thus reducing the overall amount of benefits that need to be paid. But some people need a spare bedroom in their house to store medical equipment, because 2/3 of the penalty...
Yep. So that's the bedroom tax that's being referred to there. One of the more cynical and disgusting things that the Tory party did during its time in office, which still technically is ongoing for the next month. One great example of the disgusting nature of that was there was a woman who had gotten out of an abusive relationship. She'd been married to a man who'd been physically and sexually abusive toward her. Got into a house of her own, upon which he continued to be rude, abusive, and disgusting toward her and threatening. So she got a restraining order on him. He then further attacked her, went to prison. Upon being released from prison, she'd had a panic room set up in her house in the spare bedroom. So literally, if he came around and attacked her, she could lock herself in the panic room, ring the police, and the police would come around and deal with the situation. At least in theory, it's the police. Because of this rule, she had to move out of that house to a small house where she couldn't have a panic room put in, and he turned up one day and murdered her. The Tories have the blood of that woman on their hands. Not that they care.
Payers were disabled. This was a tax on low-income disabled people, and hundreds of thousands fell into poverty as a result. How much did this policy save? After 2 years, 390 million. Not
Think of the misery that caused for £390 million. Fucking Christ.
even 1 day of health service funding. Estimates for the number of people killed by strict welfare policies run into the tens of thousands. The Conservatives have created one of the most frugal governments in the developed world and contributed to the longest and deepest period of wage losses since the Napoleonic Wars. The last 40...
Which just goes to show you, we should have just invaded France. That's what we should have done. But no. Apparently they're cool now and we can't just go and declare war on them for no fucking reason.
15 years of Conservative government have been worse for your finances than the Great Depression. In a modern society, when the government ceases to work, everything ceases to work. The British economy has seen no growth in the past 15 years. The median salary in Britain hasn't changed in over 15 years. If we had maintained the pace of wage growth we had before 2008, we would have, on average, about £11,000 more in disposable income each.
Where did that value go? Because productivity's continued to increase over that time. Oh yeah, that's right, the rich have it. The rich have stolen all of that money.
The average family in Poland and Slovenia is set to be better off than the average British family by the end of the decade. People who live in the former East Germany, who spent 44 years under a communist dictatorship, are now richer than the UK average.
God, that's depressing. Maybe we should build a wall around ourselves and wait then, I guess. Is that the answer? That feels like that might be the answer. Fucking kill me in Minecraft.
It wasn't always like this. Cast your mind back to 2007. I was in year 3 and spending all my allowance on Club Penguin. Things were far from perfect, but materially we were all better off. Huge strides had been made in reducing child poverty. Crime had been on a downward trend since 1995, and the health service was in such good shape that people complained the waiting list to see a doctor was too short.
If I ring up and ask, say, on the Monday for an appointment on the Wednesday, no, you have to ring back Wednesday morning. That's right.
Well, sorry, yeah, but surely they're not saying to you that you have to have it quicker than you wanted. Well,
Per capita, Britain was one of the richest countries in the world.
Imagine that. Imagine that. They were throwing doctor's appointments at you. Whereas now, you ring up and no, we're fully booked. Go fuck yourself. That's it. You can't get a doctor's appointment. That isn't a thing anymore.
Beaten only by a few tax havens and oil states. The average British person was richer than the average in the USA, France, Japan, Australia and Canada, but in 14 short years, we threw all of that away. The British economy has even performed worse than Russia, a nation crippled by sanctions, a costly war on its own doorstep.
Okay, are you saying we should invade Ukraine? Because there are several countries in the way. That's going to be an issue diplomatically.
And where 1 in 5 people are alcoholics. I cannot stress
those
how
are rookie numbers, Ukraine. You got to get those numbers up.
utterly over it is
Russia.
for the UK. 1 in 3 children are in poverty. In places like Newcastle, it's as high as 41%. 1 in 20 children can't even afford to sleep on a mattress. 800,000 people went to hospital for malnutrition last year.
Honestly, the tourists need to be put in front of the fucking Hague, or indeed put in front of a wall, and given a stern lecture about how that's bad. Nothing else.
Up 300% since 2013. In 2010, the charity Trussell Trust delivered 41,000 food packages to struggling families. In 2023, it was 3 million, an increase of 7,000%. Enemies of Britain, you should be doing victory laps, host a party, invite all of your friends. When the Conservatives arrived in office...
Ireland is not an enemy of Britain. We're like very friendly nations, really. Like, there's banter and shit, and obviously there's a lot of historical issue, but like, we're not actually enemies. Look, you had Ireland there with fucking ISIS. What the fuck? Okay. Bit weird.
In 2010, the Treasury under Labour had been running a deficit of £150 billion a year trying to weather the 2008 global financial crisis.
Oh, come on, guy. I know that, look, I acknowledge that there's a historical problem, and trust me, as a person of both British and Irish heritage, I'm fully aware of all of that. My point is that it's not 1981 anymore. Things have progressed. It's a lot more chill now.
If another big crisis were to happen, like a public health emergency or a major conflict, Britain wouldn't have the money to deal with it. So austerity measures were, as David Cameron called it, fixing the roof while the sun was shining.
This cunt needs to be in front of a fucking Hague trial.
It has now been 14 years since the Conservatives took office, 9 years since they shook off the Liberal Democrats.
I should point out the David Cameron, not the guy making this video. The guy making this video seems okay, actually.
And governed alone without compromise. Yet the roof was never fixed. Things did not get back to normal when the deficit was under control. And when it did rain, it rained hard. Our crippled island stood no chance against the tumultuous 2020s. The Conservatives justified their budget cuts economically with a 6-page research paper called Growth in a Time of Debt, which suggested that too much debt would severely hamper economic growth and recovery from recessions. Needless to say, this paper was fraught with errors, including an Excel typo which threw off all the calculations and drastically overemphasized the results. Even the writers of the paper eventually said that the paper was wrong.
Marcel, we will never move on from the wish to invade France. You think we're chill? Oh, we're NATO allies. We're hiding our power levels, motherfuckers. Okay? We've got ships of the line awaiting.
And a revised version of the study revealed that austerity policies were much less effective than first thought.
Yeah, I know.
But that doesn't matter to the Conservatives anymore.
Because they're cunts.
They stopped pursuing financial stability long ago, and are now engaging in a nefarious social re-engineering program that specifically targets the poorest areas of the country. That sounds like some kind of left-wing conspiracy, but...
Hang on a minute. 255, is that a serious question? Has the UK ever had a PM who could arguably be considered a criminal? I mean, literally both Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak got fines for the Partygate stuff, so yes. And secondly, all of them are war criminals, literally all of them, since I mean Churchill at least. Actually, way before, because of the Empire, they're all war criminal cunts. All of them. Where was the even the ones that are like cool, like fucking Attlee? You know, we started developing nuclear weaponry under the fucking Labour government, right? We brutally suppressed fucking uprisings in various colonies under that government. Like, they're all fucking criminals, all of them. I mean, to be fair, Liz Truss might be the one that couldn't, just on the basis that she wasn't there long enough. Also, she gets definitely half a point for killing the Queen, so you know. But she wasn't around long enough to commit many crimes. She was too busy killing the Queen and having anal sex with her Chancellor, apparently, according to Kieran.
No, they openly admit to taking from the poor to give to the rich.
I managed to start changing the funding formulas to make sure that areas like this are getting the funding that they deserve. Because we inherited a bunch of formulas from the Labour Party that shoved all the funding into deprived urban areas.
Oh, terrible.
Then that needed to be undone. I started the work of undoing that.
Honestly, I cannot say. Terms of service and legality prevent me from saying what I'd like to say about this man. Oh, couldn't. Oh, okay. Well, that's one hell of a typo. 255. Yes, fair point.
But is that the end of the story? After all, we're only
10.81%
of the way through the runtime of this video. It turns out that many of our nation's problems are actually decades old, and when the Tories quite literally ripped up the social foundations of the nation, they brought all of them out into the open at the same time. A cacophony of catastrophes, aren't we lucky? If you live in Britain and you're around my age, you probably scarcely even remember living in a world outside of late trains, littered streets, shuttered shops and crumbling schools.
I think I'm a little bit older than this dude, but yeah.
My viewer base is mostly 18 to 30 year olds who for the first time in a century are more likely to be living with family than having their own home. You should be out enjoying your 20s, throwing parties, having loads of sex, making a name for yourself.
Hang on. What the Logan, do you think this caption is okay? It's me and my girlfriend at the NY Sex Museum, and the caption is, "Call my girl Garfield, 'cause what do we do in bed isn't normal." My friend told me it's me. I don't even get that, Dorian. I don't even understand what that joke is. Call my girl Garfield, 'cause what we do in bed isn't... I presume that's supposed to be normal. What does that mean? I thought it was going to be like a lasagna reference or something. Are we only fuck on Mondays or something? I don't know. I don't know what you mean. But what I do know... Oh, normal is the little grey cat in Garfield. Oh, okay. Because what we do in bed isn't normal. Okay. Fair enough. I don't understand it enough to know whether your friend is correct or not. Don't expect Kev to know pop culture stuff. Yeah, well, I mean, for a start off, Garfield is shit pop culture. I'm just putting it out there. There's a lot of love for Garfield on the internet. Why does he even fucking hate Mondays? He doesn't have a job. He's a fucking cat. Who, let's be honest, that strip's been around long enough that cat, if it were real, is fucking dead. Very dead. I'm just saying. Anyway, Dorian, regardless of what one thinks of that joke, you know what you should do? Hit the follow button.
How is that possible if you're stuck in your childhood bedroom, still with your Mr. Men bed sheets from when you were a kid, subject to your nagging parents, the only other options giving away like half of your income on rent, or getting locked into a 35-year mortgage on the most boring house you've ever seen? That's not projection, just in case you thought it was. You probably didn't, but just in case that you did. Don't blame yourself. You're not a failure. Look around. We're all in the same boat. Nothing is new. Everything is at least 40 years old.
Yeah, we stopped because surprise, surprise, we stopped building infrastructure.
Get some help.
We stopped building infrastructure around 40 fucking years ago. Under Margaret Thatcher and neoliberalism. What a shock. Thank you, Dorian the Cutest, who subscribed. Over my dead body I'll follow. So you've given me money. You've given me £4.99 or whatever of your hard-earned money. Thank you for that. But you won't hit the follow button. Well, how will you not get the fucking notification that definitely won't be sent to you because Twitch is shit, and there's literally no point in anyone following anyway because they won't get notifications? How will you not get that notification? If you don't hit the follow button.
Houses are so damn expensive these days. The average house price has increased 224% since 1990, far outstripping wages over the same time period. The problem...
I can literally feel Helena screaming. Like, I can feel her. I can sense her presence in this conversation.
...is we're being haunted. Haunted by an unholy Frankenstein ghost.
Would you say that there is a ghost haunting Europe? There is a spectre haunting Europe. Is that what you're saying? Is it the spectre of communism?
Of socialist Thatcherism.
Hang on. Is this video about to get very dumb? Because I feel like that phrase, much like in a discussion I had relatively recently with a person, and they use the phrase, was it Marxist capitalism? I feel like this video is about to get very, very fucking dumb. I don't like it. I don't like any part of this now. This is... We'll see. We'll see. Look, we'll give it a chance, yeah? Yeah, okay. If it's really dumb, I'll move on to the animations, yeah. Indeed, big up the Midlands. Indeed. Hello there, Toby, too. How am ya? You're all right, love.
In the 1930s, it was really, really cheap to build stuff. Interest rates were low, making it easy to borrow money and invest in new construction projects. You didn't need to ask permission to build. If you owned the land, you could build anything. The only rules were that the structure needed to be safe and well ventilated. Building was booming.
I don't know if he is doing jokes, because I was told this guy was like a normie dude, so I don't know.
In 1935 alone, 70,000 homes were built in London and nearly 300,000 across the whole UK, giving rise to the classic suburbs still around today. Construction became 17% of the UK economy and accounted for a third of all economic growth in this period. A lot of people didn't like this. The socialists within the Labour Party didn't like that private capitalist developers were dictating the national housing policy. So when Labour ascended to power after the Second World War, they introduced this, the Town and Country Planning Act of 1947. From now on, you must ask for government permission to build anything, so that any and all construction would be in the interests of the public, not profits. Everything must be built with the approval of the local residents. The government, in theory being the representative of the local residents, could just give themselves planning permission, and for most of the post-war era, it was they who built most of the nation's infrastructure. Then, when the Thatcher government took power in
Honestly, what a cunt. Can we get some lols in chat for this bitch being very fucking dead? Like, properly rotted away dead. Fucking dead.
1979, they slashed the budget of national and local construction projects, believing that the private market would simply pick up the slack. What they seemingly forgot to do was repeal the law preventing the private market from building anything. And what does a policy such as that look like several decades later? Under a plan drawn up by the Poplar Housing Association, 330 homes in Tower Hamlets would be demolished and replaced by 1,600 modern homes, with 600 being designated as low-income housing. There was also added space for retail and transport right next to Canary Wharf, where all the high-paying jobs are. That sounds like in the public interest to me, and the public agreed. The council said yes, the planning board said yes, even the residents said yes in a referendum that was 90% in favour with a 90% turnout. But London's City Council rejected it because some people, quantity unknown, said that the buildings would be too high. And so the story goes.
How can buildings smoke weed? What?
Year upon year, up and down the country. Private developer wants to build, a small minority of local residents get up in arms about it.
Yeah, NIMBY cunts everywhere.
And the local council, not wanting to lose any voters, denies the planning permission, and the nation continues to stagnate. Just look at how old our buildings are compared to the rest of Europe. The majority of people live in houses built before 1970. Last year, the estate...
Yeah, pretty much 255, yeah. Yeah, the conservative think tank karate is really disgusting. Again, those people need to be dealt with.
Agents Foxtons had nearly 100,000 applicants competing for over just 2,000 available properties. The waiting list for a council house in Brent is 14 years with 20,000 people.
Well, you can just sleep rough for 14 years. What's wrong with that? You could have a can-do attitude.
On the list. And as in all cases where supply is limited, those with deeper pockets always win. If you ever do manage to escape that tier of the history classroom poster, you get locked into a 35-year mortgage, enslaved to a bank, giving away half their paycheck to a landlord who is oftentimes an actual lord, paying off a house that was built in 1925. The streets of Strasbourg and Frankfurt, even Warsaw and Prague, are filled with boutiques and small businesses and cafes. On British streets, you will find nothing except Greggs, a W.H. Smith, or a betting shop if you're lucky. Independent businesses are priced out.
Couple of barbers, maybe? Pub? Actually, no, pubs are closing.
Entrepreneurialism in Britain today is mostly drop shipping and ticket scalping. This is why we are thousands of pounds poorer than our German counterpart.
Okay, are you going to go into why that is? Are you going to at all go into why that is the case? Maybe? Like where that money's going to?
We are the only country in Western Europe that is like this. Spain has built over 10 high-speed rail lines since 1992, most of them much longer than HS2. In fact, for €30, you can get a first-class ticket with a 2-course meal included with any journey over 2 hours. Why can't we have that? It's not a one-off novelty that gets featured in a Tom Scott video, it's a normal thing that normal countries have. And we don't have it.
Yeah.
Britain...
Well, we've got that tiny bit that is basically France growing into Britain. It's basically an invasion of French train lines into London. The French are coming.
Cities are more poorly served by public transport than those of any other wealthy Western country, including the car-centric suburban hell of the United States. Brescia in Italy, population...
Brescia. It's Brescia.
200,000, has a fully automated metro line built in 2013, with plans for 2 more. Leeds, population 500,000, is the largest city in Western Europe without a light rail or metro system.
Okay, that is true, but it does have Headingley Cricket Stadium, which is nice. So
it may have something to do with how the bureaucratic inquiries required to construct a new tram station can cost more than the inquiry into the Iraq War. A small minority of local residents have the power to block any and all development, even if it's for the betterment of society, even if they benefit.
Yeah, NIMBYs need to be stopped.
Like vetoing vital flood defences that could stop their homes
and we should build all of those flood defences outside Ray finds his fucking house
from being destroyed because the defences would look kind of ugly. House building targets have never once been met since they were introduced 23 years ago. Not under the Tories, not under Labour. So instead, the Tories just abolished the targets.
Which looks to me like turning off your smoke alarm just because you don't like the noise that it's making.
The houses that do get built are poor quality, cramped, ugly, and lagging behind our European neighbours. They have to comply with the silliest of regulations, such as absurdly small window sizes.
That's kind of small.
This regulation apparently exists because climate change might make people want to open their windows more so they can get some fresh air, and small children could fall out of them. Instead of making windows smaller, why don't we just install air conditioning so people don't have to open their windows? Well, because air conditioning is more or less banned because it would use too much electricity. Can't we just make more electricity? Apparently not. Solar construction business.
Well, we do need to invest in green energy. That is fucking true. Hello there, James from the internet. How are you, sir? Everyone go and follow James from the internet. Hello there, Raiderinos. Much love to you all. I'm Kevin Logan, a socialist from the UK. Yes, we fucking exist. You can hit the follow button if you are so interested. At the moment, we're watching a video called Britain is a Dump. Yeah.
Stop it. Get some help.
Well, maybe I should, yes. Hello there, James. Penis indeed. Yeah, it's fucking mental. Britain is a mental and shit place. Yes. No, this guy really seems to hate private companies being constrained. Well, yeah, I mean, so I did warn you that this guy was meant to be like some sort of normie fuckhead. So yeah, he's bound to be a bit that way. Yes.
We got him. Victory.
Hello there, Boyd Crowder. Welcome to the Kevolution. Much love.
Businesses have been waiting 15 years for permission to install solar farms
because one group in particular have been very vocal in their opposition to green energy. Have you guessed who it is yet?
Cunts. Oil companies.
That's right, it's the Green Party.
2014.
What?
Surrey, Reigate Green Party opposes a solar farm that could have provided green energy to over 3,500 homes. 2018, Kent, the Green Party opposes the installation of...
Why? What the fuck are they doing? Because that's very strange. Why are they doing it? Is it just NIMBY shit? Is
a new solar farm in uninhabited marshland. 2020, Hastings, the Green Party opposes plans to build a 2 megawatt solar farm. 2021, Derbyshire, the Green Party opposes any and all solar farms in the entire county, with Councillor Frank Adlington saying, solar farms are not the future of Derbyshire's energy sector. He goes on to,
what the fuck are then? What the fuck is Derbyshire's future then? Attacking Yorkshire and burning Yorkshire, man? What the fuck? You don't have fucking oil. You're not on the coast, so you don't have fucking wind or solar or what do you call it? Tidal. Tidal was the phrase I was trying to look for. Their electorate in these areas are green Tories, but it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. These people need to be fucking stopped.
To say that if the Green Party were in government, there would be greater investment in offshore wind power, hydropower, tidal, geothermal, and other renewables.
How are you going to do that in fucking Derbyshire? Oh yeah, all of that coastline in Derbyshire.
Renewable technologies instead.
Mr. Adlington, Frank, I don't know if you've ever looked at a map of the county you represent, but it's landlocked.
Yeah.
Second of all, you might want to check in with your fellow party members.
Because East Suffolk Council, which the Green Party controls, have blocked the expansion of more wind farms in the North Sea.
Oh, what are you fucking doing, Green Party? What are you doing, you cunts? And that's from the Green Party. That's not even like a hate group. That's the Green Party's own fucking website. Oh.
Because they were alarmed by the current developer-led model. What a weird group of people. Climate change is an existential threat to humanity, but don't do anything about it if it means somebody would make a profit from the solution. Horror stories from bureaucratic Britain go on and on and on. 13 years to build an offshore wind farm, £1 billion to rebuild a roundabout.
255, maybe, I guess, I don't know. Would it do any good? The Green Party politicians who oppose solar farms. Solar farms and the Green Party. Given the party's environmental credentials, these are two things you would expect to be inseparable bedfellows. And yet in some rural areas of England where support for the Greens has surged at recent local elections, the reality is more complicated. Despite the party's zeal for sources of renewable energy, some of its councillors in England have opposed solar farms locally. NIMBY cunts. Fucking NIMBY cunts. Honest to God, they're the fucking death of the country. Fucking useless bankers.
Out in Bedfordshire, Victorian-era telephone cables preventing the rollout of high-speed internet. £9 billion and 22 years to build.
You may be the Witcher RuneScape 3, but you know what you're not? Followed this channel yet. Yeah, you should hit the follow button. You should. This is the third person I've tried to get tonight with this shit. Let's see if it works.
Build a 3-mile tunnel under the River Thames. This tunnel has produced 359,000 pages of paperwork, and not a single shovel of earth has been moved. Last year, India landed a probe on the moon for $75 million. We could have landed Britain on the moon 100 times for the cost of planning to build a 3-mile tunnel. And it's not just the big projects that get blocked. With the rise of smartphones, these iconic British red telephone boxes have become public urinals and billboards for prostitutes. But when local entrepreneurs...
Okay, I don't like the sneer there. Like, the word prostitute is much like, say, the word, I don't know, a great example is the word Jew, right? When you say Jew, you mean someone who is Jewish, right? But there's a certain way that you can say it that means it's not that anymore. That you're not just saying that. You can add a kind of spice to the word that means that you're saying it in a derogatory fashion. You know what I mean if you've ever talked to like a Nazi. The way they say the word. They mean like evil, nefarious JQ shit, right? And the same is true with prostitute. Prostitute is, it's an archaic term, but it's a term for a sex worker. But when you say, for prostitutes, you're like, yeah, you've put some smoke on that. You've put some fucking smoke on that, my friend. That is not, you're not just saying a sex worker anymore. You're saying that this is something deplorable and evil. That this is a social ill, some terrible, awful thing that needs to be dealt with. We should probably kill them all, or something. You know what I mean? Like, come on now, let's just chill the fuck out with that bullshit. Oh, Super Chat Arena. What's happening here? To quote John Connor in Terminator 2, we aren't going to make it, are we? No, we're definitely not, Niall. No, we are not. I've said this before. I'm not sure humanity will survive capitalism. I think there was the old phrase from, I think it was the American Civil War, wasn't it? That eventually man will create weapons so powerful that it will destroy them. And that was obviously said about like weaponry, like, you know, a cannon so big it would destroy the world or something like that. And in the form of nuclear weapons, we have actually created that. Thankfully not used it in quite that way, but, you know. Fingers crossed. No, I'm only joking. But I think in capitalism, especially in neoliberal capitalism, we may very well have created the weapon of our own destruction. An elixir so rich and moorish for the upper class that they have suckled upon it for so long and drained so much of humanity's resources and killed the planet at the same time that it may actually,
ladies and gentlemen,
it may actually be the weapon that destroys
victory is ours.
Life on this planet, or at least human life. I presume it won't be so bad that the microbes won't survive or something. There'll be the cockroaches and stuff. I hope cats survive. That'd be nice. Cats deserve to survive. Not humans, though, really, when you think about it. I mean, I hope we do. I hope we survive capitalism and grow past it and beyond it. I can't help but feel rather black-pilled about that process, though. Just saying. Hello there, Cy. Yeah, it worked. The third person. Thank you, Cy W50. You fucking cunt, Logan. Cy W54. I kept trying to say 44, and that's not the fucking name. I can read. I can actually read. Unfucking-leavable. Oh, thank you, Flint Reed. Testing Super Chat. And then Flint Reed again. Yep, it works. Well, there you go. Thank you, Flint Reed, for 2 very useful messages on the super chat. And thank you, Miss Bobby Pin, for gifting a fucking sub. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Oh. Cats are adaptable. They'll probably be okay. Now, cats are fucked. What are you talking about? Cats are fucking useless. I love them dearly, and I hope they survive, but come on now. Cats are absolutely... Cats are the perfect version of ANCAT, if you will. They think they're massively independent and that they can live without anyone's help or say so. I'm independent. And yet they rely on systems and processes that their mind cannot possibly comprehend, that are so far beyond them, you know? Do you think you could get a British celeb on stream for you to collab, get 400k viewers a day and explain how capitalism is? Save us. I try and am absolutely failing in that, but thank you for the big up. What is this now? Why are noises? My noises are continuing to happen. Oh, they're just coming through now. There you go. Okay.
Entrepreneurs wanted to turn this Lambeth phone booth into a coffee kiosk. Locals rejected the idea because it was, quote, out of character in a conservation area of historic interest.
Presumably, this would ruin the historical value of a giant mural of a girl in a bikini.
Yes.
It could very well be that we never get good infrastructure ever again. A report...
No, what we need to start doing is locking these fuckers up. Start genuinely punishing these NIMBY pricks. Okay? You are fucking hurting the country for your own good. We need to keep them penned in. Like, you know, the evil baby orphanage. Are you aware of that concept, chat? I'll explain it anyway, because I can't bother to wait for your reaction, because there's like a 20-second delay. Anyway, there's a problem. If you wanted to go back in time and kill Hitler, right? You could go back to when he's a baby. Would you kill baby Hitler? Now, naturally, the idea would be, well, yeah, of course you would, because you'd stop the thing, right? But what you're actually doing there is killing an innocent baby, because that baby hasn't done anything. You know what it's going to grow up to do, but it hasn't actually done anything. So a reasonable halfway house is what's called the evil baby orphanage, where you would essentially abduct the baby. No, not great, but it's a halfway house, and you would put them in the evil baby orphanage, and you could raise them and make them not evil cunts, and have the same process of them being taken out of the time loop. Perfect. We need a kind of NIMBY orphanage, a kind of a playpen for the NIMBYs, like, you know how they do with sheep, except we would have very, very big dogs that if they tried to escape we would loose onto them, instead of like the cool little shepherd dogs that like do their, you know, come by, and they, you know, they get them into the little pen. No, it would just be big dogs, and if you try and escape NIMBYs, we'll set fucking big dogs on you cunts. Settle the fuck down. We've got colouring books. We've got a playpen. We've got a sand pit with like a climbing frame and stuff. Enjoy. And if you try and get involved in any kind of local politics, the dogs are very hungry. The dogs actually won't be hungry. We'll feed them, but they will fuck you up, you know. Exactly. That's what we'll do with all the XL bullies. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Noises happened. What noises happened? Thank you, Flynn Reed. It's easy as fuck to distract a brummie with cash. Well, to be fair, that's sort of true of anybody, I think. And if you give me money, I feel it's only incumbent to just at least acknowledge that, you know. You're all very fucking generous.
What by the Resolution Foundation suggests that in order to fix our decrepit infrastructure, we would need to double taxes to raise the funds necessary. Keep in mind that when this report was written, the Tories have raised the tax burden to the highest ever since World War II. So we'd have...
Yeah, but mostly on the poor. What we could do is tax the rich because they've got all of the fucking money You absolute div.
To double that just to get infrastructure up to the standard of our fellow Europeans.
So it would seem that the government can't really do this alone. We have to return to the planning rules of the 1930s so that the private sector foots some of the bill. So long as it is safe and fit for human habitation, you should be allowed to build...
Okay, but dickhead, you started the fucking video by explaining about the private company that has to keep giving money to the school because it built something so shit that the fucking classrooms keep collapsing. What do you mean? Well, as long as they're building good stuff. You started the video off by saying they're not building good stuff. They're building shit stuff. Oh god, you're an absolute knob, mate. You're a queef.
Build whatever you want. No permission required.
If you want to build a stadium in the Chilterns or something, that's when the neighbours should be consulted. You know what kind of place has rules like this?
Tokyo. And who'd want to live in a dense, overcrowded third world slum from hell like Tokyo? This is not Tokyo, this is a green screen.
But a strict planning system isn't the only sucker punch this act has had in store for British prosperity.
So he wasn't joking when he said socialist Thatcherism or whatever, or Thatcherite socialism, whatever the fuck the phrase was. He was being... that wasn't a joke, chat. That wasn't a joke. He was saying, look, he hates Thatcherism and socialism. He's put them two obviously completely disparate concepts, slammed them together and gone, that's the problem. Because he's a dickhead. This guy is a dickhead. He's close to getting something akin to the truth and then bollocksed it right up. What the fuck is this image? $255. What? Why have you sent me this? Is that a man about to punch a big cat whilst someone else... Is that someone rimming the cat? I honestly don't know what's happening in this image or why you have sent it to me. You strange, strange little hobbit. Actually, I have no idea. You could be very tall. I don't know. Read the text. It's in fucking Japanese, mate. What are you talking about? Read the fucking text. It's literally in Japanese, you knob. At the top. What? 19... Oh my god. It's okay, so it's black on black. That's the problem we have here. Look. So I'll zoom in. Can we actually see that on the screen? It's black on black, so I couldn't even see that there was text. 19th century Japanese... oh my god. Depiction of George Washington. Which one? Which one's George Washington? Is it the punchy man, the cat, or the cat rimmer? Which one is George Washington? I don't know what that... I don't know. Either way, fucking mental. Because of course, it's fucking Japan. Why wouldn't it be? The punching man. Well, he didn't look anything like you. Anyway. Or anything like him. Flint Reed, see, I told you so. Thank you, Flint Reed. You did tell me so. Or something. Was it you who said he was a knob? Because he is a knob. The one with the this English... Oh, I can't... yeah, my head hurts.
The 1947 Act also introduced the concept of greenbelts. The land surrounding cities would be frozen in place, banned from being built on or altered in any way. Even land that looks like this. Building on just 1% of greenbelt land could deliver 700,000 new homes. We reduced the size of the greenbelt by 10%, and that's 7 million new houses. Just 10%. Greenbelt defenders like to say that it's there to stop cities sprawling outwards, give the city's working class a beautiful place to explore, and protect nature. Although none of these claims hold much water. We could double the size of every UK city and it would still only cover 12% of the island. leaving 88% free to be left to nature. The average city dweller visits the Greenbelt only once per year, and almost all Greenbelt land is privately owned. The only way you can enjoy it is by hoping there is a public foot.
Which is why we should take it into public ownership, so that the bits we want to build on, we can build on, rather than having it land banked. And the bits that we want to keep as nature reserves or national parks are freely accessible, rather than just being land banked by private corporations and rich cunts. Oh no, sorry, that's right, socialism.
Footpath. With no other legal uses, this land is subject to intensive farming, which the UK National Ecosystem Assessment found is a net negative to the local environment. Empty fields are not protecting nature. The Peak District is nature. The Highlands are nature.
This is not nature.
Yes, it is. What are you talking about? You think animals don't live in areas like this? Like, there are fucking trees there. Go and look in the trees. Tell me if there aren't birds that live in those trees. Tell me there aren't woodland critters that live in this area. Tell me this isn't a place where people can walk dogs. He was so close to being right at the beginning, wasn't he? And now he's just talking shit.
This is not something worth protecting.
Basically, I hate Clement Attlee.
What a surprise. You're a cunt, mate, yeah.
But his government introduced the National Health Service, the pride of Britain, that in 2020 was voted by the public as the coolest thing to ever exist, beating out James Bond, space travel, and Obama.
Wow, so...
Okay, well, James Bond doesn't exist and is a racist who believes that homosexuals can't whistle. Obama is a war criminal, and space travel, okay, that's, I mean, that could be argued.
Surely it must be good, right? No.
Okay. When Clement Attlee brought it in, it was very good. It remained very good whilst both Labour and Tory governments in the post-war consensus era continued to fund it. The Tories came in the 1980s and ruined it. Blair, for all of his issues, another fucking war criminal along with Obama, put money into it, raised it back up. It was in rude health. Then the Tories fucked it again. It's not Clement Attlee that ruined national health care. It's the Conservatives. And on that point, I am going to stop watching this. I have no fucking interest in what this tool has to say. He has revealed himself to be an intellectually bereft freak. We need say no more about this. Let us forget that that happened and move on to something far better. Aamon animations, motherfucker. This is called Top G, The Fall of Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate, Ibrahim Bustati. Round one, fight.
I like living in countries where corruption is accessible for everybody. I find it offensive that a police officer in England will stop me for speeding and then refuse to take a bribe. But if you're a billionaire, or if you're Boris Johnson, you can go to Epstein's Island, you can fucking throw parties during COVID, you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? If corruption exists, which it does, let us all play. Why do only they get to play and I don't get to play?
It's so fun that his answer is let's all do corruption, let's not do corruption. Genius. I hope he actually walks like that. That'd be dope. Is that Michaela Peterson, by the way? I think it is, isn't it?
This is not your bottom of the barrel virus.
It's already weird.
A lot of guys are asking me how you get rich. I'll tell you how you get rich. You go to corporate.com and you join Hustlers University. Buckle the fuck up.
You join Hustlers University. Yeah, you become rich by giving me money. That's not how I become rich. That's how you become rich.
This is the smartest thing you've ever done, because this is the first time where I'm going to lay down all of my knowledge in the world. I've always been rich, but I'm not just rich because of money. You have to understand, I'm rich because of a bunch of things.
He hasn't always been rich. What?
Things that money cannot buy. Like, my life is GTA. I don't need to play a game for GTA. If I want a gun, I'll fucking buy it. If I want a car, I'll fucking buy it. I want a bitch, I'll get her. It's me. I am GTA.
I am GTA. Oh god, how pathetic a human being have you got to be pulled in by this freak? How much of a fucking loser wanker have you got to be to believe any of the things this man says? For real. I am GTA. I am GTA. I'm GTA. Oh, fucking hell! What a twat!
Bro, how are you calling him a loser? He's like a 5-time kickboxing champion. He has like a $30 million.
He's not.
Net worth.
The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. If you lose in the game, you get an upper chance. In life, you get one shot. But if you get some balls, that's what life is a game.
But that's not lame. Like, he's saying a lot of the shit that needs to be heard.
Women are the true currency of ballers. Fuck money, it's women. As a business, your primary concern is always making money.
It's honestly, watching an animations video, it's so good, and yet it's also, I feel like I'm on the verge of a fucking panic attack. I feel like it's so tense. Oh god, it's so, because I know it's gonna get worse. It's gonna be weird and fucking like, oh, I don't know what he's gonna do to him. I don't know what's gonna happen here.
If anybody deserves to be cocky, it's kind of him.
Everything must happen instantly, quickly, fast, speed, attack. Hitler conquered Europe with blitzkrieg. You need to go quickly.
Hitler, dude. What? No.
Because females have no innate responsibility or honor. How can I feel depression when
You literally described women as currency, mate. Where's your honor?
Smashed and destroyed 68 people's faces in front of me. Men who thought they could test me in fair combat. How can I feel depressed? It's impossible. Do you understand?
Bro, you got like the best fucking mentality, like brain, like ethic I've ever seen in my fucking life. What the
No, surely Benito Mussolini had that.
fuck?
Bro, it's Andrew. It's a polarizing situation. It looks like you're on the side of the resistance. So, you're on the Nebuchadnezzar with us, broadcasting pirate signals into the Matrix. If I'm Morpheus, you can be Neo.
You're talking about spending money. I'm talking about making money. So as a hustler, you always have to be about making money. And females are an asset. So when I realized I had all these assets, I had to find a way to monetize the assets. I knew some street pimps. I've known them for a long time. Straight street pimping is completely... In fact, no, it's not a completely different game. The psychological aspect is the same of what we're going to do. But the skill I'm going to teach you is exactly the same. I could easily translate mine to a street business, and you could easily...
Who am I? My job was to get women to fall in love with me. A lover boy myth. Oh, okay.
With the things I'm going to teach you. Your goal is to inspire a girl to make money and give you the money. So the way you're going to do that is you have to have some element of influence.
Why does he look like the Skibbity toilet? Because he is the Skibbity toilet. Yes, yes.
I had a separate phone with all my girls' guys in that phone, and I kept control of it. You don't let your girl have this, because if your girl ever runs off and leaves you, you don't want her to have an address book of all the guys she can get money from. It's important. I'm telling you, it's a very important element, that control.
So I end up with all these chicks just stuck in their house, sitting there, bored, completely in love with me. And of course, they don't go out. They're not allowed out. You stay in the house. You don't go nowhere.
But he wasn't keeping them a slave or anything, yeah.
You're not, no restaurants, no clubs,
economics and the way societies work would look at society and say, you know what, a society with brave, strong men who are full of honor and duty, are there going to be a safer societies overall? So time will prove me right, but I have nothing against the guy. He's fine.
Andrew, I've seen some of your work as you're doing the rounds on Twitch here, and a lot of the things that you said that you've been called out on, specifically in regards to like women.
Why were they flossing? What?
Driving are just generally untrue.
And why is XQC turned into a fucking Naruto character now? That... What?
No empirical evidence to back up those claims, which is why you resort to anecdotes quite frequently.
I can say the world is round and there'll be a percentage of people who disagree with me. That's totally and utterly fine. I come on here and talk about my own personal experiences, and my experiences, men are better drivers than women.
No, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. There is a truth, and then there is your own personal experiences backed by anecdotes, right?
No, listen. You're deriving your truth from an internet study. That's fine. The truth of life is the truth that you experience as an individual. That is the only truth that we all live within. You live within your truths, I live within my truths, because these are the truths I've experienced as an individual. People are listening to me and they're...
Why are they Fortnite dancing? These two.
I know, but you're still wrong, and that's the problem. And then, you know, well, if you just completely devalue empirical evidence, the entirety of the insurance industry that relies on making these sorts...
Why has he made Hassan's head significantly larger than it actually is?
...of calculations to ensure that these quotes are as profitable as possible, which ends up charging men higher rates than women. There's a statistical likelihood that men are more dangerous drivers than women and get into more car accidents across the board.
What?
If you're going to look at all of that and say it doesn't matter because that does not...
What the fuck's with the frogs, man? What's... Oh, I don't... Oh, I'm scared, chat.
Respond to my own personal experiences, then you're silly. You're being silly. You're being a silly person. If everyone thought like you did, right, we would have no scientific achievements on this planet. We would still be living inside a fucking cave.
Everyone's saying kick you. You've come on here deciding you really want to stick up for the chicks, and maybe, you know, one of them will drive over to your house. It's cool. We've got better things to talk about.
Look, let's be real. I don't think I need to be a male feminist to be able to attract women, okay?
It all makes sense to me now. You believe
His
what you're
neck's
told
getting
to
longer.
You don't believe your own eyes. You don't believe your own ears. And that's why you're going to sit here and talk about empirical evidence that you found on Google.
Oh,
cool. If you believe everything that's on Google, that is your prerogative, my friend. And if you think that makes you sound smart in the modern world to say that I read a piece of paper that tells me to believe X, so I believe X, and I ignore my own personal experiences. And you think
I'm
that
not
makes you
asking you to ignore your own personal experiences. I'm simply asking you to look at the data.
So let's change the subject because you've just proven your point.
Okay. Do you believe the Earth is flat? Oh, he took his headphones off?
He gets very stressed sometimes and, you know, takes his headphones off.
Yeah, it's cool. Andrew, do you believe the Earth is flat or round? Spherical? Globe?
Round.
You believe it's round, right? But when you walk outside, it feels like it's flat.
Brother, and I respect...
It looks flat, it feels flat, but you believe it's round. Why do you believe the Earth is round?
Because I have personal experience that would prove to me that the Earth is round.
Oh, you have personal experience. What happened?
Oh, his neck's getting longer as well. Oh, it's gonna be weird.
You go up to the fucking moon? Is that how you figured it out?
Exactly. I flew up into space, and I looked down on Earth, and I saw a circle.
That's crazy.
Look at the tiny little head. Oh, it's so good. Oh, I'm so tense. What the fuck is... What's gonna happen? Oh, the music is fucking killing me. It's actually gonna give me a heart attack. Oh. Fucking hell. Oh. 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 Oh, can I just stop? Oh, can I just... Oh, fucking hell, man. Oh, fucking Jesus Christ. Oh. Oh, that's so gross. Oh, that's so gross. Oh. 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 What the fuck is going on? Oh, he just hit the fucking cop! Andrew Tate Beast just ate the cop. Weirdest ACAB ever. What the fuck is going on? Oh, this is fucking wild. Go on. Finish him. Boom. Oh, that was so fucking hard. That went so hard. Jesus Christ. Oh. Oh, that was the grittiest shit ever. Oh, now he's just a little... Is that a ball sack? What the fuck is going on now? Oh, look at his little eye. And his British teeth. Top G. Oh, oh. That actually made my fucking skin crawl, that bit.
It's not over. Not yet. 25. Yeah.
Oh, we're getting... This is what Aamon does. He fucking he like trailers the next video. So presumably we're getting a Jeff Bezos bit.
But I think we can deal. No way we can. We can. Because we have no other choice.
Oh, hello there. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been some time, but don't worry. I haven't forgotten you or my dark and sinister ambition. How could I? I'll never forget. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video or would like to know how I make these things,
I don't know if the word enjoy is quite the right phrase. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was exceptionally good, and this guy is talented in a way that I can never be, especially when it comes to like technology and shit. But I don't know that I wasn't bored. I certainly wasn't bored. Enjoy, though, like you enjoy some ice cream, or reading a nice book. But yeah, it was entertaining. Yeah, it was entertaining.
Consider joining my Patreon. I greatly appreciate the support, and in fact, I always carry around this list of everyone who has ever supported me. Let me read the names of my top patrons.
Okay, I'm not. Yeah, no offense, but I'm not. Yeah. The only Patreon I will pimp out is my own. Which honestly, after watching someone who's good at this do their thing, it feels bad for me to ask for your money. Because by comparison, I do not deserve it. But if you wanted to, you could hit the follow button and subscribe. You can subscribe with Amazon Prime. You can give me $5 of Jeff Bezos' money, his entirely undeserved wealth. You can give subs to the community. You can do bits messages. You can do super chats for the Streamlabs link below. If you're on YouTube, you can do super chatty chats. As pointed out by Flint Reed, you will distract me, and that will be potentially entertaining for you. I don't know. Maybe you'll feel a rush of power. That might be worth it. I don't know. You can become a member as little as 99p, or indeed gift a membership/memberships to the community. Okay. So it's the finale of, I think, one of the greatest series that's ever been on YouTube. It's a series that was almost perfectly designed for me. Okay? Checkmate Lincolnites. For those who don't know what this is a weird series where Tunche Films, who is a very talented filmmaker, pretends to be two characters, one of whom is a Confederate war veteran and one of whom is a Union war veteran, and through the exchange of ideas via right-wing twats who leave comments under his videos, he explains how the Confederacy was pretty fucking whack, actually. It's a bit. And this is the last ever one, apparently. So don't ruin it by saying it's epic. Downplay it, say it was shit, so then when I see it, I'll be extra hype about it. Now I'm expecting it to be epic, and if it's not epic, I'm blaming you personally, okay? If this is not epic now, everyone boos Pandanus Rex, yeah? We all agreed? On 5. 5. Oh, good night, Fogel.
You know, Johnny, I'm not going to do this if you're not going to listen. I'll listen, Billy. I will. It's just, it's not easy for me. Do you mean that, though? Or are you just saying it? My mind is open. Convince me if you can. All right. We've talked about a lot of Southern history on this show, from 1776 to the modern day. But there's one thing we've never actually touched on: the Confederacy's founding documents. What the governments and politicians of Southern states themselves said, loudly and publicly.
Which is why the word cornerstone is in the title of this, presumably. I suspect that the Cornerstone Speech of Alexander, not Alexander Hamilton, Alexander Stevenson, the vice chairman, vice president of the Confederacy, gave. I suspect that will make her an appearance.
Publicly, in 1860 and 61, justifying their secession. The secession documents. Really? That's your big last move? I ain't no spring chicken, Billy, and this ain't Civil War History 101. Trust me, I don't think you know just how deep this goes and how crazy it gets.
This series lasted longer than the Confederacy. True. Oh, so true.
Okay, so here's what happened. On December 24th, 1860, the South Carolina Secession Convention drafts a Declaration of Immediate Causes of Separation, wherein they state,
"The non-slaveholding states have assumed the right of deciding upon the propriety of our domestic institutions. They have denounced as sinful the institution of slavery. They have permitted the open establishment among them of abolitionist societies, whose avowed object is to take away the property of the civilians of other states. They have encouraged and assisted thousands of our slaves to leave their homes, and those who remain have been incited to servile insurrection."
It does look like he has two hairy ball sacks on his face, though. That's all I'm saying there.
Mississippi seceded on January 9th, 1861, and about 2 weeks later, their secession convention drafted its own declaration.
"Our position is thoroughly identified with the institution of slavery, the greatest material interest in the world. Utter subjugation awaits us in the Union if we should consent longer to remain in it. It is not a matter of choice, but of necessity. We must either submit to degradation and to the loss of property worth $4 billion of money, or we must secede from the Union framed by our fathers."
Florida seceded just a day after Mississippi, declaring that
"All hope of the preservation of the federal union, upon terms consistent with the safety and honor of the slaveholding states, has finally dissipated by the recent indications of the strength of the anti-slavery sentiment."
These faces, it's like fucking animations again. Can we have normal faces, please? He says, looking like this. Fucking hell.
The free states.
Alabama, following suit on January 11th,
A sectional party, known as the Black Republican Party,
and they mean black in a racial sense,
has in the recent election elected Abraham Lincoln to the office
He's
of
got
president.
bollocks on his face as well. What the fuck is this? Fucking Cronenberg shit.
Upon the avowed principle that the Constitution of the United States does not recognize property in
Has he had a
slaves,
stroke?
and that the government should prevent its extension into the common territories of the United States, and that the power of the government should be so exercised that slavery, in time, should be exterminated.
Georgia's report on the causes of secession, drafted on January 29th, harps on a similar theme.
"This is the party to whom the people of the North have committed the government, the prohibition of slavery in the territories,
Charlie Kirk's
hostility to it
great,
everywhere,
great-grandfather.
the equality of the black and white races, disregard of all constitutional guarantees in its favor, were boldly proclaimed by its leaders and applauded by its followers."
Louisiana didn't draft a declaration when they seceded on January 26th, but the state government, fearful that they might have to fight Texas in the
I love that Louisiana is constantly posting an L, like forever. It's beautiful.
Civil War, sure to follow, sent a diplomat named George Williamson to the Lone Star State to extensively lay out their reasons for secession and urge Texans to join them in rebellion.
"The people of Louisiana would consider it a most fatal blow to African slavery if Texas should not join her destinies to theirs
Okay, we get the idea. Yeah, it's about slavery. Yeah.
in a southern confederacy. If she remains in the Union, the abolitionists would continue their work of incendiarism and murder. Immigrant aid societies would arm with Sharps rifles predatory bands to infest her northern borders.
Williamson's words, which called to mind the horrible specter of John Brown's raid with its reference to slave insurrection and Sharps rifles, may have had an impact. Texas's declaration, drafted early in February, expounded on the idea that not only was slavery at stake, but also white supremacy.
Northern people have formed themselves into a great sectional party, now strong enough in numbers
This one is the most normal faced of the people.
to control the affairs of
And that's
each of
weird.
those states, based upon the unnatural feeling of hostility to these southern states and their beneficent and patriarchal system of African slavery, proclaiming the debasing doctrine of the equality of all men, irrespective of race or color, a doctrine at war with nature, in opposition to the experience of mankind, and in violation of the plainest revelations of divine law.
Okay, Betty.
Psi W54, you are weird, and I like that.
I'll grant you that there is no debate that the secession of the original 7 Confederate states was to preserve the institution of slavery. Yet it is not until Lincoln calls up 75,000 volunteers to invade, yes, I said invade, those states, that Virginia, Tennessee, and North...
Adrian motherfucking Vixen, how the devil are you? Everyone go and follow Adrian Vixen. They are fucking awesome. Boom shakalaka. Hello there,
ladies and gentlemen.
Vixens.
We got him.
Fuck it.
Victory is
Vixenites.
ours.
You can hit the follow button. I'm Kevin Logan, a socialist from the UK. We're watching a weird one tonight. We're watching an awesome series called Checkmate Lincolnites. It's debunking lies about the American Civil War with cosplay. Yeah.
Carolina leave the Union. That's true. The Upper South stayed on the fence for a long time during the secession crisis, and it's not hard to see why. If they left the Union, the northernmost slaveholding states would certainly be hit hardest by the subsequent war. So it made sense.
Yeah, everyone hit the follow. Everyone go and check out the link and hit the follow button on Adrian's channel.
They would hold out for a compromise as long as possible. So we agreed. Slavery was not the sole cause for secession. No, I never said that.
We're getting raided like the South. Yeah. Don't forget to burn down the fucking follow button. Am I right? Atlanta the shit out the follow button, yeah?
The prospect of abolition and racial equality terrified the whites of the Upper South just as desperately as it did those of the Deep South. Then why were there slaveholding states in the Union during and after the Civil War? Because despite the apocalyptic prognostications of the planter class, Lincoln didn't actually want to get rid of slavery in 1860. I mean, haven't you told me that once or twice when you're trying to take Lincoln's reputation as the great emancipator down a peg? But all the slave states of the Upper South, even the border states that ended up staying in the Union, were sharply divided on the issue of secession. In some states, the fire eaters got their way. In others, the Unionists won out. Plus, the Upper South had a lower population of slaves and one as economically dependent on the institution. That's where your emancipationist historiography falls flat, Billy. It's all about money at the end of the day. Even with slavery, it leads back to the dollar bill, y'all.
Firstly, Camp Confederate, I'm very much here for it. Secondly, it's not all about the money. Clearly it's not all about the money, as can be seen by the fact that the quotes he just showed you talked about like white supremacy and how what they feared was equality with black people. So yes, money was a big part of it, of course it was. But as Confederacy defenders like to point out, X percentage of them didn't even own slaves, so what the fuck were they fighting for then? They didn't have no fucking financial vested interest in it. Ah, but they were invested in the one thing they did have, which was a feeling of superiority and indeed legal supremacy over black people. Clearly it's not all about the money, and anyone who says just follow the money is probably a bit full of shit, really. Hello there, Disney Queen. Welcome to the Kevolution. How am you? Talking of awesome Confederacy, I do love this video. It's such a banger.
Oh, way down south in the land of traders, rattlesnakes and alligators. Right away, come away, right away, come away.
History of taking a fat L. Let's go.
Economics are a big part of it, for sure. But one aspect that's gone critically overlooked is just how enormous a role white supremacy played in all this. When the Upper South was still waffling, the states of the Deep South sent commissioners up north to try to convince their sister slave states to join their newfound confederacy. The commissioners were well aware of the Upper South's political pressure points, and in their letters and speeches, they didn't focus on the economics of slavery. Instead, their pleas placed the preservation of racial hierarchy front and center. As John Smith Preston, South Carolina's commissioner to Virginia, announced to a packed house in Richmond in a speech that February,
for nearly 30 years, the people of the non-slaveholding states have assailed the institution of African slavery in every form in which our political...
Is a real representation of what this person looked like? I kind of hope not, because they're clearly an evil piece of shit, but that moustache is fucking divine. Oh, it's not even on the screen properly. There you go. That moustache could do things to me, and I'd let it. I'd absolutely welcome that moustache to have its way with me. The human it's attached to, unfortunately, was an evil prick, but the moustache is just... I mean, it's mesmerising. It's like the beauty of poetry or something, embodied in facial furniture, you know? It's glorious.
Action with them permitted them to approach it. During all that period, large masses of abolitionists, maddened by the intoxication of the wildest fanaticism, have associated with the avowed purpose of effecting the abolition of slavery by the most fearful means which can be suggested to a subject race, namely the annihilation of its people by servile insurrection. Southern civilization cannot exist without African slavery. Destroy involuntary labor.
Like, how much of a shithouse have you got to be? They're like, he's being like anti-fucking, like anti-Southern. Like, I'm perfectly happy to say that Southerners have created loads of cool shit. Mostly the black ones, to be fair, like rock and roll and blues and jazz and all of that kind of stuff. They'll survive perfectly fine without the slavery. The North did it. Well, much of the North. Let's not go into it too much. But yeah, look, you come on now. How fucking, like, I don't want to be one of those like, you're talking the country down, dickheads. But he literally is doing that. Yeah, the South can't survive without slaves. Well, maybe it deserves to fucking die then, prick. Jesus.
And Anglo-Saxon civilization must be remitted to the latitudes whence it sprung.
Don't throw at me with a good time.
Preston's speech was frequently interrupted by waves of applause and was widely praised by local newspapers, one of which reported that at one point the whole audience was in tears. Stephen Hale, Alabama's commissioner to Kentucky, left absolutely no room for ambiguity in his letter to Governor Beriah McGuffin.
The triumph of the Republican Party destroys the property of the South, lays waste her fields, and inaugurates all the horrors of a San Domingo servile insurrection.
Yeah, exactly. Dope, yeah. That's good.
Consigning her citizens to assassinations and her wives and daughters.
Talking of the San Domingo Revolution, I have been reading a lot about the French Revolution because I'm a fucking geek and a nerd and a dweeb. And so specifically about the characters surrounding the Committee of Public Safety, which was the one that did all the guillotining. Also, guillotining. Gil, calm down, mate. Chill. I know I just name checked, but let's just, yeah. Anyway, and what happened to them after it was all over, after the Thermidorian reaction, one of which was called Biovaren, an amazing man, one of the most crazy of the motherfuckers, a mass murderer. That happened. Anyway, he was sent to French Guiana in South America, where he married an illiterate slave girl, former slave, I should say. She was a free woman, and they lived happily for the rest of their lives together. But then his story is so amazing. When Napoleon offered an amnesty to all former, like, you know, convicted under the First Republic, he refused that. He said he wouldn't, because you'd have to accept that what he did was wrong, and he didn't accept that what he did was wrong. So fuck you, Napoleon. Fearing that he would be extradited back to France and therefore convicted, he moved with them to America for like 3 months, and felt that America was like degenerate, so he left and went to Haiti, the San Domingo, right, or what's now Santo Domingo, the capital thereof. I know that's the Dominican Republic. I can't remember. Anyway, San Domingo, San Domain, where he became like a fucking legal counsel for the Haitian government, the Haitian Revolution government, and lived there for the rest of his life and died there. Incredible. And some of his writings are really like profound and interesting, but also he was a bit of a monster. Histories are full of complicated, problematic people, shall we say. Yeah, Haiti's Port-au-Prince, yeah, true.
Orders to pollution and violation to gratify the lust of half-civilized Africans. The slaveholder and non-slaveholder must ultimately share the same fate. All be degraded to a position of equality with free Negroes. Stand side by side with them at the polls and fraternize in all the social relations of life. Who can look...
Oh no! We'll have to stand next to them and things. The fuck is wrong with you, man? Well, you can't stand next to a black dude. Chill the fuck out, homo. Good lord.
look upon such a picture without a shudder. What southern man, be he slaveholder or non-slaveholder, can without indignation and horror contemplate the triumph of Negro equality?
White supremacy enforced by violent enslavement was so integral to the cultural fabric of the American South, so taken for granted as natural, necessary, and normal by nearly its entire white population, that Mississippi Commissioner William Harris spoke for many when he said,
Mississippi had rather see the last of her race, men, women, and children, immolated in one common funeral pyre, than to see them subjected to the degradation of civil, political, and social equality with the Negro race.
Okay, then deal. Yeah, no, that's cool. You know what? I accept your terms. I have some gasoline and a match. Everyone jump on. See ya. Cunts.
So what kind of effect did the commissioner's overtures and the broader zeitgeist of white supremacist fervor have on the states of the Upper South? Well, we only need to look at their declarations of secession to find out. Virginia was finally forced to choose a side after South Carolina militia fired on Fort Sumter in April 1861. Just days earlier, the state's secession convention had declared that,
whereas African slavery is a vital part of the social system of the states wherein it exists, and as that form of servitude existed when the Union was formed, and the jurisdiction of the several states over it within their respective limits was recognized by the Constitution, any interference to its prejudice by the federal authority or by the authority
Atticus, I like cats. You should hit the follow button.
of other states, or by the people thereof, is in derogation from plain right, contrary to the Constitution, offensive and dangerous.
that seems to me like an argument ultimately stemming from states' rights. I would argue.
Did somebody say states' rights?
Very few things in history are black and white. A lot of it is grey, and that includes the Civil War. It was actually fighting for states' rights.
States' rights to do what?
Excuse me, sir?
States' rights to do what? What did you want to use those rights for? You usually don't mention that part. I want to hear it. I wonder what you want to do with them.
Well, the Confederacy didn't want to be oppressed by the North.
Really? What were they preventing you from doing? What did they not want you to do?
Listen, my friend, there was more to it than slavery for why we made the Confederacy.
That is really, really interesting, because the guy who made the Confederacy, the vice president, said that it was because they wanted to have slavery, and all the state constitutions said they wanted to have slavery, and they seceded the moment that the president got elected that was going to abolish slavery. Boy, the Confederacy sure looks slavery adjacent, at least. Now, anyways, states' rights do what?
You're ignoring our other concerns.
Yeah, but among the concerns was slavery, so I don't care, because you deserve it, because you're evil. And slavery is evil. You should know this. By the way, could you answer my question, you fucking traitor? States' rights to do what?
Well, it's our heritage.
It lasted 5 years. The Annoying Oranges existed longer than the Confederacy did. The fucking Annoying Orange, dude. You're gonna celebrate—
It was 4 years as well, yeah.
In a nation so fucking weak, the Annoying Orange outlived it.
Well, states' rights.
Got Douglas.
Each Dixie boy must understand that he must find his Uncle Sam away, away. We'll all go down to Dixie.
Oh, Atticus, that's a picture of a dog. I thought it was a cat. I also like dogs, for what it's worth. Dogs are cool. But you should hit the follow button. Still.
Argue that it's more of a reflection of the Southern rights nationalism we talked about in episode 8. But yeah, Virginia was on the whole much more moderate. There you had lots of influential pro-slavery unionists like your boy Bobby Lee, who in 1860 believed that preserving slavery from outside interference was absolutely essential, but decried the Deep South's actions as illegal and revolutionary. Virginia's delegates on the secession convention were shrewd politicians. They knew that white supremacist fear-mongering alone wasn't enough to win over the moderates, but a strong argument made for the constitutionality of secession just might. On May 6th, Arkansas, which had been vainly attempting all winter and spring to broker a compromise, finally took the plunge and declared independence. Its secession convention had already written a document explaining their reasons.
People of the northern states have organized a political party, purely sectional, in character, the central and controlling idea of which is hostility to the institution of African slavery. They have, in disregard of their constitutional obligation, obstructed the faithful execution of the fugitive slave laws by enactments of their state legislatures. They have degraded American citizens.
This is all,
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is all good,
we got 'em.
right?
Victory is ours.
Thank you, Atticus. Welcome to the Kevolution. This is good, right? This is all good stuff. But A, I feel like we have already been through this, and B, this is not epic. It's very good. It's good. It's good information. It's good historiography, but I'm not getting epic so far. There's a lot of video to go yet, but you better get epic.
By placing them upon an equality with Negroes.
Like Virginia, North Carolina also had strong Unionist sentiments, especially in the mountainous western part of the state, where the terrain made large-scale plantation slavery impossible. After the attack on Fort Sumter, Governor John Ellis finally called a secession convention with the following proclamation. It is nearly unique among secession documents in that it makes no mention of slavery directly.
I am informed that Abraham Lincoln has made a call for 75,000 men to be employed for the invasion of the peaceful homes of the South. United action in defense of the sovereignty of North Carolina and of the rights of the South becomes now the duty of all.
Tennessee had a large population of Appalachian Unionists too, but their secession documents were far more radical. A month before they officially seceded, the state legislature issued a public address to its citizens, declaring their intention to do so.
Tennessee has taken her position and has proudly determined to throw her banners to the breeze and will give her strength to the sacred cause of freedom for the white man of the South.
Sir, I'm afraid that you are confusing the causes of war with the cause of secession. The two are linked, but not the same. Secession may have been about slavery, but the decision to inaugurate war was entirely Lincoln's. The Federals could have just let the South peaceably go. Johnny, buddy, you're my brother and I love you, but that's incredibly fucking naive. Nation states will always act in the interests of self-preservation if it's at all within their power to do so. Even cute, cuddly Democratic ones with inspiring quotes about liberty and justice for all printed in their passports. But it doesn't have to be that way. I'm with you, man, and look, I'm not trying to make a moral judgment about it or be cynical here, but that's kind of just the way the cookie crumbles.
That is kind of cynical. I gotta say, it is kind of cynical. I'm not saying it's necessarily wrong, but it is a bit might makes right, you know? A little bit.
And when you look at the circumstances of the secession crisis, it's hard to imagine Lincoln acting in any other way than he did. The Balkanization of America was a truly existential threat to the federal government. The prominent Confederates were very open about their plans to eclipse the United States as a continental power. Secession was such a severe blow to national pride, such an egregious insult to the federal government's efficacy.
Also, there's no way the South thought they were going to be allowed to leave. They knew full well that by seceding that war was going to happen. There was no fucking way at all that they thought they were just going to be allowed to leave. So actually, in terms of who started the war, well, one side fired on Fort Sumter. That did happen, didn't it?
Efficacy and credibility that it demanded an equally drastic response. But there were people at the time, North and South, who criticized Lincoln's call for troops and believed that the whole thing could be resolved peacefully.
Yeah, there are fucking shitlibs in all ages, yes. That those people exist, sadly.
I would argue that even in the context of the time, and without the benefit of hindsight, these people had delusions of constitutional grandeur. Everybody with their head on straight in 1860 and 61 knew that secession would be an armed conflict of some kind.
Yeah, there you go.
And for the fire eaters of the South, a civil war was a far lesser calamity when compared to the prospect of racial equality. They believed the explicitly white supremacist Herrenvolk democracy of the new Confederacy was well worth.
Ooh, Herrenvolk democracy. Ooh, spicy words.
Fighting for. The most famous evangelist of this new vision of American government in 1861 was ironically a man who had up until then been a staunch Unionist, Confederate Vice President Alexander Stephens. On March 21st, 1861, a crowd of 2,000 people gathered in the Athenaeum Theater in Savannah, Georgia, to hear Stevens speak about the core principles of the fledgling Confederacy.
Here we go. Cornerstone, motherfuckers.
He had only just returned home to Georgia after attending the Confederate Constitutional Convention in Montgomery, Alabama, wherein he had played a major role. Mounting the stage to a thunderous applause, he said,
"We are in the midst of one of the greatest epochs of our history. The last..."
See, now he has a weird withered kind of like almost shrunken skull face, but that's not that's not a drawing. That's an actual fucking photograph of a human that actually existed. I mean, look at him. It looks like they've literally like pulled his fucking face tight. Like, did he have a 19th century fucking Botox situation? What the fuck is this? It looks appalling.
Last 90 days will mark one of the most...
Looks like one of those pharaohs that, you know, they unwrap the pharaoh and it's like a little shrunken face skull.
memorable eras in the history of modern civilization. Many governments have been founded on the principles of subordination and serfdom of certain classes of the same race. Such were and are in violation of nature's laws. Our system commits no such violation. With us,
looks like
the
a
white
haunted bullback.
race, however high or low, rich or poor, are equal in the eyes of the law. Not so with the Negro. Subordination is his place.
I suspected the Cornerstone Speech would rear its ugly head at some point in this episode. Are you going to conveniently leave out the part where Stevens talks about tariffs? Yeah, he's got a few tariff zingers in there, which is also kind of ironic because he was in favor of protectionism for most of his political career. Like we've talked about before, protectionist tariffs didn't do the South any favors. Doesn't change the fact that slavery was the reason for secession. Yeah, but all that racist stuff was just like Alexander Stevens' opinion, man. It's not like he was speaking for every Confederate ever. How is this an outlying opinion after all the other quotes I've just shown you? Stevens had his finger on the pulse of the white South and he knew it. But what you Yankees fail to mention was that the Cornerstone Speech was improvised. The Vice President did not have prepared remarks that evening. No, but he had given near-identical speeches a number of times in the weeks prior, namely in Atlanta and Augusta, where he used the same white supremacist rhetoric and was met with the same enthusiastic reception. Okay, but I heard that President Davis was dismayed at the lack of political tact exhibited by his Vice President. To Davis's amazement, Stevens bypassed the all-important constitutional guarantee of state rights and emphasized the institution of slavery.
Is that?
Could anything, he wondered, have been more calculated to damage the Confederate cause?
He was like, motherfucker was all about the slavery. Jefferson Davis was all about the slavery. What the fuck is this? Did he? Well, if he said that, that's fucking wild.
Both in the North and abroad. Then his Vice President's unfortunate speech? Yeah, I've heard that rumor too. Trouble is there's no primary source documentation to prove it.
There you
go. As far as I can tell, it was made up in the 1950s.
There you go. I thought so. It didn't smell right to me. It didn't smell right at all.
Do you have one? What? Do you have any primary source documentation to back up what you're saying there, bud? No. No, I guess not. And if it did bother Davis when Confederate politicians speechified in defense of slavery, then he sure didn't practice what he preached. Just a few weeks later, Davis gave an address to the Confederate Congress in which he said,
"The Republican Party seeks not to promote the general welfare or ensure domestic tranquility, but to awaken the bitterest hatred against the citizens of sister states by violent denunciations of their institutions."
There's a lot of shrunken face, skull, head situation going. I don't want to be too fucking phrenology here, but it would appear that racism shrinks your face. Charlie Kirk style. It stretches the skin, like it's weird. It's weird.
In moral and social condition, the African slaves have been elevated from brutal savages into docile, intelligent, and civilized agricultural labor.
The fuck is right? Honestly, these people, I'm so glad they burned that shit down.
And supplied not only with bodily comforts, but with careful religious instruction, under the supervision of a superior race.
Hang on, are you asking if I pre-watched? Or when you say I pre-watched, do you mean the individual voter? Did they pre-watch? Because I didn't fucking pre-watch.
Their labor has been so directed as not only to allow a gradual and marked amelioration of their own condition, but to convert hundreds of thousands of square miles of the wilderness into cultivated lands, covered with a prosperous people.
Johnny, my dear friend, in the Cornerstone Speech, Alexander Stephens revealed what lay at the heart of the Confederate experiment. In the words of historian Charles Dew, the absolute conviction that the abolition of slavery would either plunge the South into a race war or so stain the blood.
I want to be with Johnny. Johnny Reb, I think there's a good person underneath there. There's a good person who wants to accept reality, but he's scared. He's scared. Oh, for fuck, why does it keep fucking doing that? What the fuck is wrong with this mouse? I need to get a new mouse.
Of the white race, that it would be contaminated for all time. The slave republic of the Confederate States would...
When they say contaminated, they mean black men coming in white women. That's what they mean.
Emulate the revolutionary struggle of the Founding Fathers, but fix what they believed had been their biggest mistake. As Stephens put it,
the prevailing ideas of the old Constitution were that the enslavement of the African was in violation of the laws of nature, that it was wrong in principle, socially, morally, and politically. Those ideas, however, were fundamentally wrong. They rested upon the assumption of the equality of races. This was an error. Our new government is founded upon exactly the opposite idea. Its foundations are laid. Its cornerstone rests upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man.
To be fair, I've never seen a black person who can equal your weird shrunken skull face situation. So I will give you that you are superior in looking like a homunculus. You've got him beat on that one, Alex.
That slavery, subordination to the superior race, is his natural and moral condition.
look, man, I'm running out of ways to say it here. The Civil War was caused by slavery. It was.
It was.
Are you finally ready to accept that truth?
Come on, Jono. Come on.
Get him out of here!
What the
Please go with him! The president doesn't want his prize damaged! You're taking him, you bastard! To be with his own! I'll show you more! No! No!
Oh god, it's got animations again.
Where are you taking me? Please don't hurt me, boy. Don't hurt me, please. I'll do anything. Please. I'll do anything. Just don't hurt me.
Stop your sniveling, soldier. You are a man of the Southern Confederacy. Comport yourself as such. This is the powerful ally which you spoke of.
It is, mein President. Forgive his weakness. The enemy has filled his mind with dangerous notions. It is nothing that cannot be corrected, given time and attention.
This is the get-up that Rishi Sunak borrowed when he turned up on D-Day. The Nazi outfit. It was top bands.
Right. Tell me, soldier, what has that little blue friend of yours been telling you?
That the Civil War was fought over slavery. That the Confederacy tried to destroy America for the worst reasons possible. That we were wrong.
Well, if slavery is wrong, baby, I don't want to be right. Your friend is correct. We did secede because we wanted to keep slavery. And you know what? Slavery is fucking great.
What the fuck is happening now? Who are these people? Oh.
No, it's evil, selfish, cruel.
You'll see. You and the whole white race. I don't know what you're missing. Don't you want to be on top? In control? Of course you do. Once we've completed our conquest, I'll open the markets back up. In New Orleans, Charleston, hell, even Washington, D.C. Do you really think those latte-sipping white liberals will stick to their self-righteous virtue signaling once they've gotten a taste of power? Real power! No. They'll be lining up just to shake my hand and thank me.
Come on, Jenny. You're a good old rebel, ain't you?
I don't. It is pointless to resist, my friend. You are one of us. You always have been. Take your place at our side, and together we will do great things.
I was hoping this would be fun, and it's scary. I'm fucking scared. So the big man's Boris Johnson? I don't think so. I mean, he's American, but not quite as southern as that. What the fuck?
Good. You're awake.
Where am I?
Welcome to the world headquarters of the 20th Maine Infantry Regiment.
Friendly soldiers. Thank God. Listen, there's something freaky going on. The dead walk the earth. They took my friend. We gotta go in there. Guns blazing.
Lay down, sir. You've been injured. You need to rest.
You guys got ammunition? Weapons?
Of course. Well, not like live rounds. That would. I think I should clarify a bit. We're not soldiers in the traditional sense. We're more living historians. Or we prefer to be called experimental archaeologists.
You guys are reenactors?
We are, and we take it very seriously. We're all about respecting the men that we're interpreting. But we're not, like, intense about it. We're not those reenactors. We're actually very chill. I'm Josh. I'm the colonel of this regiment.
Pleased to meet you.
We all know who you are. We're huge Checkmate Lincolnites fans here.
Oh. Okay. Okay. I don't know which one was more uncomfortable, the weird Nazi thing or this. I'm not sure. Hello, the Kevin FM. Everyone going to follow the Kevin FM immediately.
I think you should do an episode on Reconstruction. I've got this John Brown didn't do anything wrong T-shirt that I love to wear around my uncle because he's kind of a heritage, not hate kind of guy. You know, I'm sorry, I sound stupid.
Josh, honey, I didn't realize you were here with your little friends. Would you like some treats? Lemon squares? You love those.
Not now, Mom.
You sure?
Actually, yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Thank you.
Well, that's great. It was lovely to meet all of you. I gotta go. My friend got kidnapped by a Sam Raimi movie, and I'm gonna go get him back.
With all due respect, sir, I don't think that that's going to be a good idea.
A skeleton army of undead Confederates led by the resurrected mummy of President Jefferson Davis rampaged.
Oh, it's oh fuck's sake! What's this guy called again?
Across the southeastern United States today, with the
mummy of Jeff Davis. The South has risen again. Submit or die.
Stated intention of, quote, restoring the white race to its former glory in the Cotton States, leaving the markets in absolute chaos. Oh, and also thousands of people are dead, apparently, as we learned from this Atlanta woman who has been hiding from the skeletons in, get this, her bathroom. Her hilarious videos pleading for someone to come rescue her and her family have since gone viral on TikTok, with the whole internet calling, quote, bathroom girl the lol-cow of the summer. And she's joining us on the program today. Bathroom girl, welcome to the show.
Please help us. They're right outside. They don't sleep. They've already killed my parents.
I'm going to have to cut you off. Okay, that's enough. I think we need to hear from the other side of this issue. Joining us as well is Oberfuhrer Klaus, the necromancer who actually resurrected the army of the dead and unleashed them upon America. Klaus, thanks for joining us today.
Good, fair and balanced. I'm glad. And this is good journalism.
Hey, what do you think of what Bathroom Girl here just said?
Well, this is just so typical of the left. Always playing the victim. I mean, what's next? It's resisting the skeleton army today, then transgender marriage tomorrow. Where does it end?
True.
Wow, that's a really good point.
That's a really good point, my lord.
Yes, excuse me, my lord. 1,000 apologies.
Why are you giving this guy airtime? He is clearly a Nazi.
Ah, there it is. Everyone you disagree with is a Nazi. Is that it? David, I think your audience is smart enough to see this for the deep state psyop that it is.
No,
True.
look at what he's wearing.
Look what he's wearing? How would you feel if our genders were reversed and you said that to me?
True. Good stuff.
Oh boy. The mummy of President Davis will stop at nothing to reestablish his fallen Confederacy. And once that's accomplished, Oberfuhrer Klaus will doubtless use the power of the sword of Baron Samedi to engulf the world in chaos, bending humanity to his unspeakable will. And as far as time-traveling Nazi warlocks go, Klaus is up there. I mean, he is the big one. But he's not invincible. There is one man who might be able to destroy him.
Of course. Episode 4. The highly problematic Puritan man who exorcised Johnny Reb.
His name is the Witchfinder General of the colony of Massachusetts Bay.
That's his name?
Yeah. Come with me. I've got something to show you.
That is his name, yes.
My day job is in theoretical physics. Are you familiar with interdimensional travel?
Just the basics, you know? It's multiple universes, multiple versions of me and you, etc.
Precisely. There are quadrillions of versions of our Oberfuhrer Klaus across the multiverse. Some got picked up by Operation Paperclip. Others killed themselves on Joe Rogan. Some got their faces melted off by a meaningless plastic YouTube award.
Yeah, well, that all sounds very plausible.
But our Klaus is not like the others. Our Klaus is much, much more powerful. Sometime in the 1930s, our Klaus was dabbling in the occult when he came across the secret to some dark cosmic magic. What he found and what he did with it, we don't know. But what we do know is...
Didn't use it to win the war. Fucking loser. Boom.
He obtained godlike powers, immortality, sorcery, the ability to travel through time and dimensions at will.
Great.
But what he doesn't know is, he's not the only one in the multiverse with the ability to travel through worlds. An interdimensional and time travel portal. Achieved not through the darkness of the occult, but through the light of the scientific method.
Is this safe?
Well, of course it is. It's just a prototype, but with the right calculations and a little elbow grease, I've managed to open a wormhole to the colony of Massachusetts Bay in the year 1692. There, you'll find the one man who can help us banish this evil forever.
Wait, I'm sorry. Me? As in by myself?
Yep.
See you in a bit.
That's epic.
Witchfinder General, I need your help.
Return to Hellfire, blasted shade. Thou wilt not deceive me as thou didst King Sal.
Whoa, man, take it easy. Look, I'm not a demon, okay? I'm from the future.
The theatre? The kingdom of God is at hand. The Lord shall return in a matter of months, I expect. The race and satanical happenings in Salem hath all but confirmed it.
No, man, look, the world isn't ending because you killed innocent people and kicked off a really tacky tourist industry, okay? I'm telling you, the dead are coming back to life in the year 2024.
Then answer me this. Who is the most popular playwright in 2024?
I don't know, maybe William Shakespeare?
William Shakespeare? The actor? My fleshy casement seems real enough.
I wonder if it blades.
No!
I have of late suffered from terrible dreams, wondrous and most strange. I wake screaming in the night, and in me mind's eye, I see that face. Somehow
I'm so fucking not confused because look, I've watched the series, but it's weird. It's tortured, much like my soul. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm having fun though. I want to stroke a Tunche's beard. Same. Fucking same.
Missed it because I popped off to the kitchen to get a beer. But in episode 4 of my web series, you faced off against this guy, Klaus, and you defeated him. Now he's back, and he's more dangerous than ever, and you might be the only being in the multiverse capable of stopping him once and for all. He's like a Nazi, but he's much more than that. He's inhuman. He's like some kind of demon. A demon of the pit. Very well, theater man. I shall fight alongside thee. This blade hath fasted on the blood of many a cavalier soldier. Oh wow, badass.
Hey, hello aspiring ally. How are you? It's been too long, friend.
And many Indian savages. See, that I don't like.
Excellent. Excellent. But all the woke history books of the war for Southern independence are finally burnt to ashes. The truth will at last prevail.
Indeed, mein President. However, I have been meaning to tell you for some time now, there is this new thing called the Internet. With the Internet, a foul Jewish-controlled woke historian needs no book to spread his anti-white ideas. Instead, he can broadcast messages all the way across town.
He's talking about me.
this internet. It too must be destroyed.
An ingenious notion, mein President. But if I may be so bold as to suggest, this internet is a tool we can use to our advantage. I myself am a major shareholder in Meta, Alphabet, and of course my beloved X. Allow me to contact some of my friends in Silicon Valley.
Fact.
I have no doubt we can come to some sort of arrangements.
That's mighty white of you, Oberfuhrer Klaus. As you please, then.
It shall be done, mein President. Why, yes, hello, Mark. Remember how you were asking me how it is I have not aged in 70 years? Would you like to know my secret? And no, it isn't just face cream.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the situation. The Army of the Confederate Dead have burned every library of Civil War books in America.
America?
That's all except for one. The museum archives of the Gettysburg National Military Park.
Did he film at fucking Gettysburg? That would be amazing.
Be their final objective. That is where we make our stand.
I have news, sir.
What is it?
Just received word. Klaus has taken control of the internet.
God help us.
No, the show.
Oh no! It's gone!
He must have scrubbed it from the servers.
No! It's like someone stabbed the Mona Lisa!
The greatest work of art that the world has ever seen! Just gone?
Anybody got a smoke?
I have to say, I think the Witchfinder General is taking all of this admirably in his stride. For a man who has been having bad dreams about this and all the rest of it, and he's now time travelled centuries into the future with technology that would destroy a normal man's brain, he's just taking it in his stride. What a fucking trooper. Honestly. Congrats. God, oh my God, we're not even 2/3 of the way. Also, they wouldn't need to have just an army of the undead. There's plenty of Nazis around today they could get involved with, right?
Say, Klaus, any news of old Billy Yank? Old Billy boy? Yeah, he is up there in those hills with his Untermensches, race traitors and degenerates, attempting to make a futile final stand against the unstoppable might of our army. Sure wish I could see him again. Haven't seen him since before the war. Never thought it would last this long. What, 3 days? Last time we saw each other, we were debating the Cornerstone Speech and the declarations of secession, before we all went off to fight against each other. Old friends off to war. The soldiers farewell. Goodbye. Good luck. See you in hell. Listen, how long is this going to take? I'm quite busy shit posting on AR15.com. Billy was like a brother to me, remember? Last night we saw each other. It was getting late in the evening. Then things got a little rough. Skeletons broke in, violently took me prisoner, and well, there were a lot of tears. I ain't seen him since. But one of these days, I will see him, I'm afraid. Across that small, deadly space. I thought about sitting this one out, but that wouldn't feel right. I've got to do my duty as a soldier. Thanks, Klaus. I needed to get that off my chest. Sorry, what?
House. Johnny, prepare the men.
Ja, mein President. Men of the Southland. A new power is rising. It's victory.
The thing is, right, and I think this is probably done intentionally so it doesn't become just a horror movie or something. The fact that they're kind of jittering around like fucking silly, well, they're puppets, they're little fucking weird dolls, aren't they? It takes away from the sinisterness of it all.
Iselha! Tonight, the land will be stained with the blood of the Yankees. March to Little Round Top. Leave none alive. To war!
Skeleton Army is positioned just below us. The Library of the National Archives just behind. If they want to get to it.
Yeah, this is definitely not a get it. This is just a fucking field, isn't it? In whatever state he lives in.
They're gonna have to get through us. God. Listen to that ungodly rebel yell. Drink?
Please. You know, sometimes I don't know how long I've been in this war. 3 days or 3 lifetimes. Do you recall a story from antiquity of 2 men so close they could be brothers? Men who spent years debating the fine points of Civil War history with one another. Men who went dancing in the city and modeled underwear for each other, by some twist of fate finding themselves on opposite sides in a great war involving a skeleton army and a time-traveling Nazi, and then on a given night finding themselves on opposite sides on the very same battlefield?
Well, if the later seasons of Game of Thrones did not tell such a story, certainly Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny did.
Earlier tonight, when I looked through my glass and saw the fluttering colors of the army of the Confederate dead just across the battlefield there, it was as if I could still hear his borderline offensive voice, see his certifiably wide eyes. Johnny Reb commands one of Davis's brigades, and he's out there for sure. I thought this day would never come.
Colonel, look!
This is where I'm placing you, Billy. Sir, you're the end of the line.
Yes.
This is the far left of the Union line. You can't get any farther left than this.
What about them?
Don't worry about them and do your job, soldier.
Okay, good point. Also, good to see a shout out for my Antifas.
Understood.
Now we see how micro-celebrities fight.
Micro-celebrities. Fuck yes. Let's go.
All of them come. Y'all know your duty. Boys, I'm gonna need you to take their heel.
What a lovely gathering. Wouldn't you agree, Johnny? Now, would you care to do the honors?
With pleasure, mein President. General Lee?
Yes, sir.
Oh, God. Okay.
Time to do your favorite thing. A full frontal infantry attack.
We'll do infantry forward. Pour it into him, boy. Steady. Fire away.
Why are they only fighting with shit old weapons? Why not get modern weapons?
Mein President, the infantry is taking heavy fire.
Shall I send in the cavalry?
And waste my horses? No. Send in the Irishmen. They come cheaper.
At once, mein President. Send them in!
What's offensive?
That's the Irish. What are those boys doing fighting in the skeleton army? They know we're fighting for truth and for equality. Have they learned nothing at all at the hands of the English?
These brave Irishmen, they're a great.
It's actually quite moving. And yet it's the stupidest thing in the history of the world. While you're down there. Oh, did YouTube cut out? Sorry. Oh, God. Oh, but we're back, okay. Well, you didn't miss much. They're doing like an overwrought battle scene, slow-mo bit.
It is well that war is so terrible that we should grow too fond of it.
Hey, Lee! Eat shit!
Gentlemen, we've run through all our powder and ball.
If they break through, Civil War history will be lost forever.
Well, we can't run away, and if we stay here, we can't shoot.
So let's charge.
Did you just say charge?
Yes, but here's what we do. We charge swinging down the hill. We swing like a door. You understand?
Aye.
All right. Josh, you're
They're
taking
literally doing battle, little round top fucking shit now.
the right. Witchfinder, you're in the center. Antifa Super Soldier, the extreme left.
Exactly. Now move.
Super Soldier.
Bayonets! What did you just say, bayonets? What do you think, we're made of money? Those are like easily like $90 each.
Fuck it, just grab whatever you can.
That is not a swinging door, that is just some people running. Fuck's sake.
Attack, men! Attack! Let the Undead be upon
Literally Wilhelm's.
Hark, devil witch band. My blade hungers for thy flesh, and it shall not be denied.
No, no!
Oh shit, they didn't actually go to Gettysburg. Well, unless that's just a sign. Maybe, I don't know.
Billy, go to the library and save as much as you can. Go. Get out of here. You're too beautiful to die. Get out of here. Get out of here.
never thought I'd die fighting side by side with someone wearing the uniform of a settler colonial state. Well, how about dying side by side with a friend? I could do that.
Fucking Lord of the Rings references, man. God damn. There's still fucking 10 minutes of this. Jesus Christ.
You are too late, Witchfinder. The armies of darkness shall be triumphant, and you, my friend, will die. Witchfinder. Witchfinder General.
Lord Jesus.
Oh no. Oh, God. It's too many memes. It's like a fucking scary movie all over again. For those who don't remember, who aren't old enough to remember those shithouse films, there was literally a series of films called like Scary Movie or whatever, and it was like a play on horror movie themes, and it was fucking awful. Except this is good. I do enjoy this, but I'm overstimulated.
So, am I slain? No, Witchfinder. I have come to give you a gift in this, your time of greatest need.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna boo. I'm not gonna boo Pandanus. This has been epic.
As
F. Are we back at all? Anyone? Hopefully we're back. Why is it doing this now? My internet connection's fine, but it's like back down on Twitch again. Can you rewind, kid? No, I fucking can't rewind. No. It happened, okay? I've been going too long. I need to go to sleep.
No! It's not possible! Through God, all things are possible.
Okay, okay. Sharp cut there. There's no way he has the core for that. Not a chance. Also, this is just him living out like a childhood fantasy now of just filming the fucking fight scenes from Star Wars.
At last we meet. It's a shame our acquaintance must be so brief.
Johnny, buddy, come on, man, don't do this. This isn't you. I'm a Southern soldier. I've got to do my duty.
Accept it, Billy. He belongs to me. You have lost.
You know, you and I are not so different, Witchfinder. I sense the darkness in you, the thirst for blood.
I am a creator of light, made in the image of the Lord our God.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, you have murdered a lot of innocent women. So just objectively speaking, you're a huge asshole.
I shall accept no judgment from a demon of the pit.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I mean, no judgment from me. I love it. I think it's hilarious. Oh, imagine the things we could accomplish together in this new world that the mummy of Jefferson Davis and I will build. We could turn Boston into the greatest city the world has ever seen, under a godly and strong theocratic government.
Tempt me as thou wilt. I would ne'er join with thee, thou devil.
Very well.
If Boston will not be the metropolitan hub of New England in this new world order, then perhaps Providenceville.
No!
Oh, Shiza.
Before I kill you, know that slaves will bury you in an unmarked grave. You and your false version of history will be utterly forgotten.
I give your new Confederacy 4 years. Tops.
What the fuck? What?
Go to hell and take your friends with you.
Oh, that was fucking awesome. Oh, god damn it, that was good.
Want to say a few words? I think not. Thy friend was a grave sinner and is most certainly in hell. Hey, Witchfinder. Fuck off.
He's gone woke.
As God is my witness. As God is my witness, I'll never be taken for a fool again. As God is my witness, I'll never be fooled again. Well, that was fucking awesome. I genuinely
I genuinely don't know what to say. That was that was brilliant. That was fucking brilliant. I can't think of a better way of finishing things. That was fucking excellent. Yeah. Just fucking brilliant. I'm genuinely slightly lost for words. That was fucking yeah. Now I need a series of Johnny Rub getting fooled again. Yeah, probably. Or he could just bring him back, like fucking, just bring him back from the dead and do another episode or something. I don't know. Fuck it, why not? Sherlock Holmes did it. Anyway, enough of that shit. I'm gonna go to bed because it's fucking 1 a.m. Who is going on the Twitch machines? Twitch machines, Twitch machines. Who is going? Who is going? Who is going on the Twitch machines? Rhizome. I'll send you over to Rhizome, yeah? Who is Good Beans? Yeah, go and say hello to them. Hang on, start right. Yes, and I'll I might be back tonight, Sunday, or not. I don't. Maybe, I don't know. But either way, thank you so much for all of your support and for listening and watching. You people are fucking incredible. No pass around.